Hi everybody, welcome back to our series of the 10 things you need to know about Avenue Q. Today's video is going to cover numbers 5 and 6, so let's get straight into it. Numbers 5 and 6 that you need to know about Avenue Q is that it's a musical about the realities of everyday life and it takes on every topic that you can imagine. So I think we've spoken a bit about this, but I really want to talk about the uniqueness of Avenue Q. It's really not a fantasy fairy story. Not that there's anything wrong with those, they are fantastic. But what was so revolutionary about Avenue Q in 2004 and 2005 is that people weren't really talking about the challenges of being an adult in the way that they are today. So today, I think we talk a lot about the challenges millennials or Gen Z face, the market crisis, the housing crisis, the difficulties of finding a job, free education, all of those kind of things. And we talk a lot more about how difficult it is actually to be a young person in the working world today. How the challenges of graduating from university, where your life has kind of been a straightforward step of events from school to university, and then you sort of expect to come out of there and get a job. And that's not really how it works. And Princeton's story is very much about that, about the challenges he faces just after graduating and not actually knowing what he's going to be able to do with his degree. He's got a BA in English, and the very first song speaks about, what can you do with a BA in English? What is my life going to be? That is what was so revolutionary and so interesting about Avenue Q when it first came out, is that it broached these ideas of the difficulties of real life, I guess, and what it is to, experience the ups and downs and highs and lows. So then, secondly, in terms of topics that it takes on as well, it doesn't just take on the day to day. Oh, I got a job. Oh, I'm buying a house. Oh, I'm in a relationship. It really does take on everything that you can imagine. So there are a couple of songs. One is The Internet is for Porn, where Kate Monster is very excited that she's going to be able to teach something modern and something relevant, and she wants to teach her class about the internet, and she keeps getting interrupted by the rest of the team who are convinced the internet is only for porn. There's a song called Everyone's a Little Bit Racist, which I think is very relevant in South Africa and, in fact, in the world today, dealing with the challenges of racism, institutionalized racism, and kind of what it means, and what the difference would be if we could just actually accept that we were all maybe a little bit racist. I really like that about Avenue Q, that every single topic from racism to porn to love to jobs to being a celebrity and then having your life fall apart around you, being afraid to leave your apartment and see the bigger world because it's all just completely terrifying. This is a real life production. It is a story of real life. It is not a Cinderella or a Sound of Music or a Matilda with all its magic or a Joseph or it's a real story about real people and puppets, and their real lives. And I think one of the things that's so wonderful about theatre is, yes, it can take you to fantasy lands and it can tell you a ridiculous story which you can then identify with and kind of get some kind of resonance with. This one you don't have to try very hard. This is real life on stage in a Sesame Street environment where everything's about education and, learning about each other. And you see, kind of your real life on stage. And that is what is so fantastically amazing about this show. This is one of the great powers of theatre about, reflecting life imitating art, art imitating life, and reflecting your own life back to you. And I really couldn't recommend it more if I tried. The show is actually now in previews. It opens officially on the 19th of May, but you can book tickets now. I'll put all the details in the links at the bottom, and you guys can go and book on computicket or by phoning the Pieter box office. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful and interesting. Always like to hear your comments, so you can just hit me up in the box below, or you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or you can send me an email at info@theatrejunkie.co.za. Catch you next time.